Intimate scenes are supposed to be rehearsed, planned, controlled, safe. So why do some moments feel different? Why do certain performances carry a comfort that doesn't look practiced? A sense that the actor isn't resisting the moment, but settling into it. The camera doesn't catch tension, it catches ease, confidence, intention. Is that just great acting? Or is something else being communicated? This isn't about rumors or behind-the-scenes claims. It's about what the screen makes you feel. These are the actresses whose performances made closeness feel chosen and unsettlingly real. Marilyn Monroe. There is a reason Monroe's scenes feel different from everyone else's. It is not what she does. It is how comfortable she seems doing it. In her films, intimacy never feels accidental. It feels welcomed, chosen, almost playful. Monroe understood timing better than anyone. She knew when to pause, when to lean in, when to let silence do the work. That ease creates the impression that her characters are not hesitant or unsure. They appear fully present in the moment. What stands out most is her lack of visible restraint. Many performers of her era appear careful, guarded, or aware of limits. Monroe appears relaxed inside closeness. Her body language suggests trust rather than tension. Her expressions suggest anticipation rather than surprise. Behind the scenes, directors often noted how little adjustment she needed once cameras rolled. She did not stiffen. She did not pull back. She settled in. That comfort translated directly to the screen, making viewers feel like they were watching something natural rather than constructed. Nothing graphic was ever shown. Nothing needed to be. Monroe made suggestion feel intentional, and intention is what made it unforgettable. Brigitte Bardot. Bardot brought something rare to the screen, ease without apology. In her performances, closeness never feels like a hurdle to cross. It feels like a state she already occupies. Her characters don't hesitate. They don't appear conflicted or self-conscious. They behave as though desire is normal, familiar, and already accepted. What makes this powerful is how unforced it feels. Bardot doesn't perform attraction as a dramatic event. She treats it as atmosphere, something that simply exists. That approach makes scenes feel less staged and more lived in. Cameras seem to disappear around her. She moves naturally. She leans in without stiffness. Her expressions suggest curiosity rather than caution. Viewers don't feel like they are watching a moment being played. They feel like they are witnessing one unfolding. Directors frequently structured scenes around her comfort level rather than forcing rigid choreography. Bardot didn't need over-direction. She understood the tone instinctively, and that instinct reads clearly on screen. The result is an impression that her characters are not resisting closeness. They are welcoming it. And that sense of welcome is what makes her presence feel so open, so confident, and so convincing. Elizabeth Taylor. Taylor's approach is different. Where others suggest ease, she suggests decision. In her most intimate scenes, there is a sense that her characters know exactly what they want and have already accepted it. There is no nervous energy, no hesitation. Her gaze is steady. Her movements are deliberate. What makes this stand out is the emotional weight behind it. Taylor doesn't treat closeness as light or casual. She treats it as purposeful. That seriousness gives her scenes an intensity that feels chosen rather than stumbled into. She leans in with confidence. She holds eye contact longer than expected. She lets moments stretch instead of rushing past them. All of this creates the impression that her characters are fully present and fully aware of what they are doing. On set, she was known for committing completely once a scene began. There was no pulling away once cameras rolled, no visible discomfort, just focus. That focus translates into scenes that feel grounded and intentional. Taylor doesn't make closeness feel risky. She makes it feel inevitable. And that inevitability is what makes her performances linger. Sophia Loren. Loren's screen presence is rooted in physical confidence. Her characters appear fully comfortable in their own space, their own movements, their own effect on others. There is no sense of embarrassment or uncertainty. She stands, sits, and moves with assurance, even in moments of closeness. What makes her scenes feel convincing is how grounded she remains. Loren never appears tense or cautious. Her posture is relaxed. Her expressions are warm but controlled. She gives the impression that intimacy is something she understands and accepts rather than fears. Directors often emphasized how little adjustment she needed in emotionally close scenes. She didn't overplay reactions. She didn't pull back. She stayed present. That presence makes viewers feel like they are watching someone who is not merely acting comfortable. She is comfortable. There is also a sense of mutuality in her performances. Her characters don't seem acted upon. They seem engaged, participating, choosing the moment rather than reacting to it. Loren makes closeness feel balanced, not overpowering, not hesitant, just confidently shared. Lauren Bacall. Bacall's power comes from control. Her performances suggest someone who sets the tone rather than follows it. In scenes of closeness, she rarely appears uncertain. Her voice remains steady. Her posture remains composed. Her gaze does most of the work. What makes her presence feel intentional is how little she gives away. She doesn't rush. She doesn't overreact. She lets moments breathe, which creates tension without effort. That restraint makes every movement feel chosen. Bacall's characters often appear to invite closeness rather than respond to it. A look held too long, a line delivered calmly, a slight lean forward. These small choices signal confidence and awareness. On set, she was known for understanding exactly what a scene needed, and not more than that. She trusted implication. That trust carries through to the audience, who fills in the gaps instinctively. Nothing about her performances feels accidental. Nothing feels awkward. Bacall makes closeness feel deliberate, controlled, and unmistakably confident. Rita Hayworth. Hayworth understood movement better than most performers of her era. She didn't rely on dialogue or dramatic gestures. She relied on rhythm. In her scenes, closeness often begins before anyone speaks. A turn of the body, a slow step forward, a pause that lingers just long enough to feel intentional. Nothing about her presence feels stiff or rehearsed. She appears settled inside the moment. What makes this impression powerful is her lack of visible restraint. Hayworth doesn't look like someone bracing herself. She looks like someone already comfortable with what's happening. Her expressions suggest awareness, not surprise. Her posture suggests invitation rather than defense. Behind the camera, directors often frame scenes around her physical confidence. She didn't need excessive instruction once the mood was set. She understood tone instinctively and let her body language carry the scene. Audiences felt this immediately. Her performances made closeness feel mutual, balanced, chosen. She never appears overwhelmed or unsure. She appears present. Hayworth didn't push boundaries through excess. She did it through ease. That ease is what made her scenes feel charged without ever crossing a line. The implication was enough, because it felt grounded in confidence rather than performance. Novak. Novak's screen presence feels quiet, and that's exactly why it works. She doesn't announce intention. She allows it to surface slowly. Her performances often carry a dreamlike stillness, where closeness feels inevitable rather than rushed. What stands out is how comfortable she appears once that closeness arrives. There's no visible pullback, no sudden tension. Her body language remains calm, her gaze steady. She lets moments unfold instead of interrupting them. This creates the impression that her characters are not being swept along by events. They are aware. They are choosing to stay in the moment rather than escape it. Directors frequently relied on her ability to communicate emotion without movement. A look held too long. A breath taken slowly. A pause that feels intentional. These choices make scenes feel internal and deliberate. Novak's performances don't rely on intensity. They rely on acceptance. That acceptance reads clearly to the audience, creating a sense that her characters are fully present, not acting against instinct. She makes closeness feel quiet, but not uncertain, and that quiet confidence is what makes her performances feel unsettlingly sincere. Angelina Jolie. Early in her career, Jolie projected something rare: comfort in stillness. In scenes that rely on closeness, she doesn't overplay emotion. She doesn't rush toward connection. She waits. That waiting creates tension and intention. What makes her presence feel different is how grounded she appears once the moment arrives. There's no visible hesitation, no sign of self-consciousness. She seems fully aware of the effect she's having and fully at ease with it. Her body language suggests choice rather than reaction. She leans in calmly, holds eye contact, lets silence stretch. These decisions communicate confidence without a single word being spoken. On set, she was known for committing fully once a scene began. That commitment reads as sincerity on screen. The audience senses that she isn't fighting the moment, she's inhabiting it. Jolie's performances feel deliberate because they are controlled. Not cold, not distant, just intentional. She makes closeness feel like a decision already made. And that certainty is what gives her scenes their weight. Sharon Stone. Stone's power comes from authority. In her performances, she doesn't appear to be discovering desire. She appears to be directing it. Her posture is composed, her expressions measured, her movements precise. What makes her scenes feel intentional is the absence of uncertainty. She doesn't seek approval. She doesn't react defensively. She sets the pace and lets others adjust. This creates a dynamic where closeness feels controlled rather than spontaneous. And that control is what makes it feel convincing. The audience senses that nothing is accidental. Directors often trusted her instincts in these moments. She understood how little was needed. A look, a pause, a slight shift forward. The implication did the rest. Stone's characters don't appear swept up by emotion. They appear aware of it and comfortable using it. That awareness creates an impression of willingness without vulnerability, strength without force, intention without explanation. She doesn't invite closeness by asking. She invites it by deciding. Secrecy in Deneuve. Deneuve's performances are defined by restraint, and that restraint makes them powerful. Her characters rarely explain themselves. They don't signal emotion overtly. Instead, they allow closeness to exist without commentary. What stands out is her composure. Even in emotionally charged scenes, she remains controlled, calm, present. That composure suggests acceptance rather than resistance. She doesn't shy away from closeness. She allows it to unfold quietly. Her gaze is steady, her movements minimal. The absence of visible tension creates the impression that her characters are comfortable where they are. Directors often emphasized silence in her scenes because she didn't need dialogue to communicate intention. A look held, a breath taken slowly, a pause left unbroken. Deneuve makes closeness feel internal, thought through, already processed. She doesn't perform desire outwardly, she lets it exist. And that quiet certainty is what makes her performances linger long after the scene ends. What makes these performances linger isn't shock. It's comfort, not the comfort of rehearsal or careful planning, but the comfort of presence. A feeling that the actor isn't forcing the moment, they're settling into it. And when that happens, the camera feels it. So does the audience. This isn't about rumors or off-screen stories. It's about what the screen communicates without explanation. Because the most convincing moments in film are rarely loud. They're the ones that feel chosen and quietly real.